Yo, I am Omega Zero.
I am Late Night CJ, aka Sweet Daddy, in the streets.
Oh, that's probably my grandma or my aunt.
Grandma.
But we're here to talk about Invincible Season 1, Episode 3 this time.
Episode 3.
Now, I know how I said like the last episode was like kind of 10% filler. This one feels more filler, but it does actually set up like more plot points and everything for the story.
Absolutely.
And, well, before we get into like spoilers and everything, what did you think of it overall?
The episode?
The episode overall, I feel like you were just giving a rating right off the bat.
Well, now that I understand the show, and to give people context, I've said in previous episodes that this show is extremely layered. Like, if you don't get past the first, like, I consider the animation and the characterization of each of these people is like the crest. If you don't get past the crest, you won't understand the show itself. So I will say that I'm still invested enough, like, to where it makes me want to watch it. You know what I mean? And I will say that there hasn't been a significant drop off in the first 3 episodes to make me be like, okay, this is starting to get lame. It actually keeps me invested.
And I think that's good overall. I guess, personally for me, like I keep saying, this episode feels more fillery, but that's just personally to me. This still contains like major plot points.
Right.
Case in point, the setting up of the future Guardians. The Damien Darkblood putting the hints together. Debbie started to doubt her husband.
The other kid, the one that was a douche, Rex, is that his name?
Rex, yes.
We're starting to see that he has a emotion to him.
Yeah, like he isn't just
a douche.
What do you get?
He's not just that. Like, that's almost like a defense mechanism so that people won't delve into his insecurities that he has.
Yeah.
It's almost like, let me make fun of me, or let me be such a jerk that you won't want to know anything more about me. But continue.
Yeah, I guess we should get really quick onto the plot synopsis.
Okay, go ahead.
So, this episode first starts out with a televised world funeral of the Guardians of the Globes. Funeral.
Which was kind of weird. That didn't Omni-Man get up there and like speak at the funeral?
Yes, he did.
That was kind of trippy.
We know what happened as the viewer,
right.
But the people of the world, they don't know it. The only one who has some form of suspect so far is Damien Darkblood, Demon. So Omni-Man comes up and you're like, whoa, your mind's millionaire, like, why in God's green earth is this man speaking for him? But he actually legitimately sounds upset or somber, or maybe he's faking it. We don't know.
I think he's faking the funk. Well, I'll say, I don't know what happened, because the way they set this up is like the end happened at the beginning, so that you now have to watch the episodes to find out why it jumped off like that. Like, there, like you said last episode, was there some kind of mind control? Did he flip out? Did he have some kind of animosity against these people the whole time? And like, we have to continue to watch to find it, because it's like, you know what it's like?
What?
It's like Hansel and Gretel.
Breadcrumbs.
They're dropping the breadcrumbs. So now you have to continue to follow the breadcrumbs in order to get back home.
Yeah. And that's like where to do it. But they have both a televised one to like let the world know, yeah, unfortunately the superheroes are dead, but they also have a private one later. To be fair, they probably people in the world. Yeah, they did with clearance. And you actually, there probably is people who do that in real life. Probably through regular rape shows, but I've seen some people vandalize that person which tweet It's not
just like to
like they're adding a little bit here and there because like they're trying to set up say multi-layered characters. Case in point, surely I'll hide mine when he sees it. He's like, oh well, yeah, what you did. I won't be able to see the end of that. He's kind of like saving audience, but it shows that he has a little
Let's go.
Happy Prime Funeral. Right? That's like Red Fury or something. My bad, probably best day here. You see the wife, and she breaks down.
Bring it up, or I'll leave you behind.
What happens is like, oh, I'll be back. And like nothing will worry. It's like that's the only time he ever fights me.
Get ready.
It's like, oh,
Get
Damien
ready.
Darkblood shows up, and you can see, despite the fact that he's technically a superhero, no one really trusts him. Damien Darkblood, demon.
right, because
He's a demon. Like
from
Can't
hell.
escape
What?
crossing fate.
Like, to be fair, it's like,
Fight.
here's little periods of time like, to be fair, like, you walked up and said, oh, I want to get super. Press
Somebody who's not really trusted.
Press action. But yeah, and questionable part of it is like, being a detective well, we know. But moving on, Cecil's called Robot, and he's like, alright, I need you to put together a new Guardian. And everyone's like,
Let me ask you this. But if you had a robot because I've noticed Cecil likes
he can't. Well, here's the thing. Cecil's reasonably close to like he has like this government organization secret. He totally needs we have like these public show outs. Just like every superhero team on the main defense force. A tryout. And we're gonna have our new main defense force. And they only really showed like the characters who are going to be on the team. Case in point, we have he burns the team, as they're called right now. You have
because he already knows them.
basically you have Monster Girl,
Right.
whose power is she's basically the She-Hulk, but she turns into the Hulk, and every time she transforms, she actually gets younger.
Right.
So makes me think, can she live forever?
Well, that's why she said in one of her things when we'll talk about what happened, how it led up, but she said like, look, unless you want to be changing my diapers, you're gonna have to use me judiciously in all of this because every time I transform. She's like, what she said? She was 23 years old?
Did she say she was either 28 or 24?
I know she said she was some in her 20s.
She said she was in her 20s. She should be called
But
Monster Woman, but
she looks like, it was hard for her to explain. We'll talk about that in a second, but yeah.
we get Black Samson.
But I'll tell you what.
What?
Each one of them people that he picked are horrifically flawed.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Well, for some of them.
Yeah.
I would say
Like-
Monster Girl as a character is like her powers obviously it has like this huge boon, but it's like a major drop side, and she's also kind of a prick. Then again, like most people in the show are humans.
Yeah, she's a prick because it's just like, Could you imagine being a superhero where you I could just be in plain sight as a regular person, and then anytime I want to, I can turn it up, and I'm like the most powerful thing in the building. But
I look like a 7-year-old,
and I keep getting younger every time I do it.
Yeah, that's why I say can she theoretically live forever?
Well, that's the thing, because now she has to really in a situation, she has to decide if she wants to participate or not, because it will take away.
She'll become a detriment to the team if she stays on there forever.
Right.
Unless they can find someone to slow it down.
Right.
Moving on to one I kind of like, being Black Samson, who is voiced by Cyborg, I believe, from the Teen Titans, whose name I'll probably put here. He's the oldest member on the team. He's not a teenager from Team Team. My TV's gonna power off. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Him being old,
he kind of acts like the old head too.
He that's kind of like the point. He was a former member of the Guardians of the Globe before he lost his powers, and Rex constantly gives him crap for it.
And your suit has batteries.
And to be fair though, I'm not sure if it's in this episode or if it's in a future episode where Black Santa kind of drops this major flex on Rex.
No, it wasn't in this one.
It wasn't in this one. I'll have to see.
It might be.
It might be. He's like, I'm gonna assume you don't know. I don't know you, so I'm gonna assume you meant that as a joke.
He said before I make you call me your dad again. Yeah, he's like, basically he said, I'm gonna take that as a joke. I'll put foots in you.
I'm gonna take that as a joke. Say it again, I'm gonna put my foot so far up your...
Pretty much. That's what he said. He said, I'm gonna chill. I want you to know that I know.
Yeah, alright, we also get Adam Eve.
Well, she didn't show up at
we actually just skipped over this.
Yeah, he wants her in there,
but she, because Robot wants her in there. Basically, she quits immediately though because we skipped over this. Because right after the funeral, Adam Eve basically flies back to headquarters. And she's like, oh, she finds Duplicate there. I'm like, oh, hey, you weren't at the funeral. I'm like, oh yeah, something came up.
She was acting fishy.
She acted fishy and Adam Eve suspiciously had very good intuition. Like, is anyone else in here?
Yeah, because she was acting kind of and she kind of was looking over.
She goes into the shower like, oh.
And he come out like, it's not me.
It's like Rex, or Rexplode, whatever his name is.
Well, that also goes into his insecurities. It's like, something like that would inflate his ego to have not one but 3 girls. Not to get graphic, but
they don't show anything, but they are covered up.
But it insinuates, or it infers that something was going on in there, and that goes back to his insecurity, like him being in constant surge. That's why people who are usually sarcastic like that are trying to present that they're smarter than the person that they're talking to, so they feel like, oh, I'm so afraid. You know what I mean? They do things like that to show a level of dominance, but that dominance is fake in the sense that it's to mask their insecurity.
Yeah. So Rex is also on the team. Duplicate gets put on the team. Duplicate.
Yeah.
Mark gets on the team. Invincible.
Right.
And we have another character, Shrinking Ray. And her name is actually not R-A-Y, it's R-A-E.
Yeah.
So a little pun there.
Maybe Ray jumped in dude's ear and started messing him up from the inside. That was dope.
That is actually if I would give her she's like Ant-Man from the movies.
Yeah.
So
see how they're all like that?
Well, she's not specifically based on Ant-Man, I'm assuming. Maybe she's more... I think she's more specifically based on the Wasp. But yeah, we kind of skipped over the part where Adam Eve catches Rex cheating on her, and that's why she doesn't want to join the team. And after she finds out that she
alright, what I missed?
Nothing much. She just talked about how Adam Eve's oh, Rex is on the team? Nah, no, I'm not being
I'm good. Especially because she just found out her boyfriend was cheating on her with her co-worker, so to speak.
And another friend, too.
Yeah.
So...
all 3 of them.
Yeah, all 3 of her. This is also at the point, the normal life comes up. And let me see here, because I have the plot synopsis in addition to this here. Really quick. when Mark gets Amber's number, this is from the wiki,
Yeah.
he sets up a study date, which is kind of weird.
That was in the description of the show this episode too.
Yeah,
That's to cut it short.
Yeah, because, what was it?
the
bully? I think the bully gives,
Yeah, he's like, sorry for kicking your butt, and here's Amber's number, and he's like, huh?
That'd be the most realistic part. He's like,
take the number, she likes you.
And it's like some dude who kicked your butt the other day, but then you stood up to him, and he's like, look, I'm sorry for what I did. Here's Amber's number. He's like,
here's the most popular girl's number in the school. She likes you. Here, call her.
Maybe. We don't know. Is Amber not? I'm not sure.
She's
she's like up there, I would say.
Yeah,
she's up.
She's top tier.
She's up there.
Yeah.
So he sets up a study date, and like his friend comes over. He's like, "Look, dude, just clean up your room."
We got drawers everywhere, food plates. It's a mess. No chickens gonna want to kick it here.
Yeah, and he said it's just a study date. And he's like, any day you should
first
be
date. He said it's a study date, not a first date. He said every date is a first date. There should be. Which was some good advice.
It's just good advice. I ain't gonna fight the man.
Yeah, you should have good advice.
It's good advice.
Yeah.
He gets they do that.
Always try to be impressive.
But that gets him messed up because Eve asks for help. Like, oh yeah, this doctor dude, he's like destroying like Mount Rushmore, I believe.
Yeah, Seismic, Dr. Seismic.
Dr. Seismic, I think it is.
Yeah.
And Mount
Which
Rushmore.
is like a fake villain because all his powers were in these bracelets that he had.
Which is not always. He didn't have superpowers. He basically
Kind of
made
like
it.
Batman.
Yeah, he has like all these gadgets. I would say closer to Iron Man, really. Like he has gadgets to make him super powered.
He was about to destroy. But now that I'm glad you brought that up because, like I said, now this is me putting on my tinfoil hat right here. It's kind of like Republican Democrat because he was referencing the faces on Mount Rushmore as being slave owners and all of this, you know, and oppressors. And he was like, but you could just serve me. You know
I was like, I think it was just deliberately being hypocritical because he did say he was crazy. Because the more time he used the power, it was like it was rattling his brain.
See, that's what I'm saying.
And like he's crazy, but he's also smart because he calls out Eve's outfit, but she says, "Oh, I chose this outfit."
He's like, isn't that kind of like sexist? The fact that you can do this and do that.
But I chose my outfit.
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, aren't you a doctor of something else?" Like, "Oh, I had a minor in this." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay, that got chuck up."
Feminine studies, and he was like in African American studies and all. This.
I was like, "Okay, you know what? It was a little funny."
Yeah.
Like maybe they were trying to throw it, or they were just trying to immediately undermine him. Like, he's crazy, but he's technically a doctor still.
Yeah. So when he was throwing that out there, it was like, okay, so it's like under which oppression do you want to be? You want to be under that or this? And it's like, what's the
difference?
Yeah, it's like you want solid boo boo or diarrhea. It's like it's still the same.
It's still terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, after they defeat him and save most of the people, I don't believe they save everyone.
You know, his little ending was kind of creepy too.
Like what? Dr. Seismic.
Yeah, how he kind of low key commits suicide.
Okay. Like what did he do again?
He jumped into the to the lava.
I think I'm not sure if he did.
And they tried to save him, and then he was like, "Oh, my hand's slipping." And then they went down there to try to get him, and he did something like he used the last little bit of juice in his bracelets to push them away and shove him back down into the lava, and that's what made like this big cannonball splash that they had to turn around and run from to get out of that crevice of the lava. Yeah, you can tell I watched that.
I binge watched mine. I binge watched mine like a month before he started watching it.
Recently, yeah.
And due to that, Mark had to actually cut his date short with Amber. And Amber only really stays out of intrigue, as it says, for the plot synopsis on the wiki.
She wants to know why he's gone. But I'll tell you what, I think you polarized me. Look it up if you want to know what that means. I think you polarized me because the more I keep seeing her, the more I start to dislike her. It's like you stayed around just so you could talk smack. I mean, if he really told her like, look, my dad's like Superman, I just barely
Yeah.
get 2 powers. I got a phone call while you were in the bathroom, and you were in there for kind of a while. I don't know what you were doing there, but that's neither here nor there. And the guy came in, and he tells me, hey, we need you to drop whatever you're
said I
doing
needed
right
your
now.
help?
If you want to be a superhero, you're on call 24/7. You gotta go here and save the planet real quick. So while I'm over here saving the planet, and you're in here getting all in your feels, getting mad when I come back, I didn't come back for this. But again, I said that.
Like, that's the whole point of, like, a superhero's secret identity. You're not supposed to tell someone.
Would he take it if he really broke it down like that?
It's like, oh, hello, I'm XXX, but I'm also superhero.exe.
Yes.
Would you like to date?
Right. So anytime we can be sensitive, you might have to look. You'll be the only one who knows. The rest of the world has no idea.
But that's the whole point of that. Any form of like, you could probably first, like, when you come back on the Crusading his dad's like, oh, hey, what's up? He also clearly informed him that, hey, you're going to date, and be a superhero. He basically, like, maybe not want to date.
Nice try.
Believe me, I think he's like, oh, not believe me, that wasn't
Tag
good.
along.
He's like, going to save Mount Rushmore was good because
I'm gonna put an end to all this,
like, it's
so
your
you
one
can
life
just
versus,
stay
like,
down.
hundreds, if not thousands of people.
Get ready! Get ready!
He's thinking more logically than
But he
emotionally.
doesn't have, yeah, exactly. He doesn't possess the same level of emotion, depth, like we have being raised here, being human, and having these emotions and feelings.
Who said I needed
from
your help?
another planet, galaxy, whatever, that came
Can't
here
escape
as a
from crossing
child.
fate!
It's very different. Like when you work for, you go now.
Nice
Well, I think it's kind of like how it is.
Or it's because he purely cares for his family. If he has some care for people, it's not the same as yeah, it's like most people. You care more for your family than you do for a random dude on the street.
Handle this myself.
Later in the episode, I tried to apologize, which it's too fresh at so she's heads off with Octopus and Mark's having his little study date with Eve, and instead of like barging in as just like her normal up being Eve or Adam Eve, she's like, you know what? Back off. She goes back to
Ready!
maybe like she obviously has feelings for him. It's very obvious, but she also like respects like, all right, look, he's dating someone else, or he's at least with someone else, or at least romantically interested in them.
I'm not good
So she
at
backs off, like, which I think is a strong argument. Instead of getting like jealous of the partner, she backs off. He just leaves unnoticed. She's like covering, and we get to like one of the action-packed actually parts of the Moncrief being imprisoned for his done the president we have someone trying to bust him out, and during this break, it is impressive how bust him out, and you see like on the monster ends up being sacrificed in the end for his life. And during that break, is revealed at the end of it, is revealed that Robot was the one that broke them out, and like Robot are bad. He being controlled because he's a robot that eventually hacked his life, the law of power twins, and he turns to the side of good if we offer him this, if we do this for them. So it's like, oh, okay, that was Robot's flag, because now that's a subplot we need to work on.
You didn't have fun because you lost?
And then
Don't sweat the small stuff.
Damien Darkblood basically just shows up in the Grayson's house. He's like, oh hey, Debbie, do you know what has Omni-Man actually told you about what happened? And then Debbie was like, she hasn't really told me much. She's saying basically what he told everyone else. He got beat up, he doesn't remember much. And the dude did it was pretty strong. He's like, he basically just starts to sprout the littlest bead of doubt within her mind on what Nolan's telling her. And after the encounter, after basically he leaves, because this dude just has instant transmission, he go beep beep, he can just pop in and out, talk for a few seconds, leaves. Well, he is a demon, so probably instantaneous movement is not out of the realm of possibility, considering what we know about them. But this is just making her starting to question it, and with that, only Nolan, he just senses like why someone was here. I'm assuming he either Damien Darkblade either smells bad, or they just have like a certain presence that people of like way higher powers can usually sense. Usually, like in anime or video games, you see someone who exudes a super amount of fear, or they exude such deadly killing intent, like in Naruto, or like anything like Dragon Ball or Code Vein, where Yakumo senses like the lady being frightened for her life. It's like, huh, I know you're there. It's like, Zurr. But overall, yeah, that was like the main plot of the episode.
What I missed?
Kind of going over the last few stories.
Hold on, I gotta use the restroom.
But that drinks a lot of water, so that usually kind of just runs through me because most of the time it's cool. Overall, like I said, this episode feels a little bit more fillery. It does set up like the dynamic between Amber, Rex, and Eve. It gives us the setup for the team. We get the setup, or at least the new Guardians of the Globe. We get set up for the what was it? Well, Robot's dealing with the Mauler twins. Why did he break about? Is he under mind control? All that good stuff. And personally, I am, since I've seen the series, like, it helps to pay more attention to like all these like little hints in the past, like coming together in the future. Like, oh, I can't believe I didn't notice that. How did I not notice that? And that's why it's always a good point. And if I had to list the characters as
What I missed?
just go, like I said, going over the last few story beats. The Mauler twins being broken out. We see that it's Robot.
I wanted to say something real fast.
Yes.
And I'm gonna make this quick, alright? So follow me on this. Remember I was talking about the psychology of how these superheroes are really flawed?
Yes.
Okay. The Monster Girl.
Yes.
She says that basically she infers that she lives a very solitary lifestyle because one, either the people that try to get at her are barely in puberty
Or
pedophiles.
we can't say that word.
Okay, child lovers.
P word there.
P words. Okay, he'll delete.
I'll probably censor
Or something like that in there, right?
something along those
She
lines.
said, okay, so she says that. So she lives a very conflicted, solitary life. Then we have Black Samson. Black Samson is upset. And I kind of
Can't
understand
escape
her
from
because I
crossing
work with a
fate.
lot of young people myself.
I'm coming here doing this.
Well, not only that, like, he was part of the
Yeah.
So he kind of was like, I should have been on that level, but instead I looked at the new height. Johnny come late, you have your Instagram
That
You know how they get mad at stuff? Because that's not even the real cake. So they struggle with the idea of,
who's who.
who's who.
She just seems like a normal person. She's making so cool.
Yeah, you're here, but who are you? Like,
yeah.
this is that girl in the corner that we noticed, like, you don't
I'm gonna put an end to all this.
She wasn't she
so
the
you
first
can
one to
just
walk
stay
out?
down.
She was like, let me know when you guys get this together. I ain't got it.
I think she's like one of the last. She was like, I haven't been on a thing before, but I'm pretty sure it was.
Get ready.
Right. Keep going.
Yeah, but I feel like overall, like, we're kind of like at the end point of the episode here. Like, you wanted to get off your chest, like, what do you think about the characters?
Well, that was my main
Can't
thing that I
escape
was
from
looking
crossing
at was
fate.
that fraud
Nice try.
and then what's her name is that
Weak.
I think it was obvious. But she also kind of like spectates bows out. She doesn't get where she just like,
because she really doesn't
Nice try. Get down.
Space Jam reaching. Space Jam reaching. You know what I mean? Or I can be extremely accurate.
You done wasting my time yet? I've got things to do, places to be.
Exactly. But anyways, it was like to show that even though they're superheroes,
they're still human.
they're still human and they're still flawed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not just like even Omni-Man, who has all the powers of the world, but he lacks emotional depth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All these have like, and it's like, I feel like Mark is almost like feeling like I feel like he's on the cusp of like, oh, I'm a rock star. I'm a superhero. I'm the coolest guy in the school. You know, I got the best looking girl. I got all these powers. I got all this type of stuff. And his dad is constantly trying to reel him in, like, dude, you have no idea how this works.
You have no idea how.
You know what I mean? But then I gotta go check on this chicken. This is Late Night CJ, aka Sweet Daddy.
What would you give the episode, real quick?
Huh?
What would you give the episode, just real quick?
I give it. I'm still giving these 7.5s, these shows, because I feel like when you start getting the 8, 9s, and 10s, that's the whole.
You
whoa.
need, like, you really need.
Like the first episode at the end, where you was like, it's kind of graphic. At the end, I was like, so that maybe I should have gave the first episode like an 8.5, and these 7.5s because I'm intrigued, super intrigued, but I'm still. It's like that 8, 9, 10 is like mind blowing.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't see that coming. Oh my god. I have to watch this next one right now.
Yeah. For this episode, like I said, it feels a little bit more fillery than the rest. So, fortunately, I'm still gonna give it like a 7.5 because it's still well written overall.
It is.
There's no real problems. It got a few chuckles at me here and there with the jokes. with Black Samson, with
Yeah.
Dr. Seismic.
I'm gonna take that as well again. Otherwise, I'm put foots in you.
But yeah, overall, I still think this is a very good episode, even if it does feel like this one feels like 20 to 25%, a bit more filler. But like I said, it still has more plot points to set up. And overall, like I said. Anyways, my name is Omega Zero. I will catch you guys later.